Clear? Now listen. We have already discussed that gamma reflex loop comes into play when the requirement of fine voluntary movements are required. Okay, requirement of fine voluntary movements are expected, then gamma reflex loop comes into action, right? Now listen, what is the ordinary reflex loop for crude movements? That is, this is our what, spinal cord, clear, and this is our suppose muscle, clear. Now this is our interfusal fiber, this is our intrafusal fiber, clear. Now important point you need to understand is this, that these intrafusal fibers are acting as a stretch receptors, right? And when they are activated, they will activate group 1A fiber, right? This group 1A fiber will actually bifurcate to give two fibers, right? This is alpha motor neuron. Alpha motor neuron will now innervate extrafusal fibers. Now listen with all your attention. What is gamma reflex loop? Listen, gamma reflex loop starts with a special type of motor neuron. Gamma reflex loop starts with a special type of motor neuron known by the name of gamma motor neuron. You must have a question here in your mind that this is also a motor neuron, alpha is also a motor neuron, and we are talking now about gamma motor neuron. That means there are two motor neurons present here. Yes, there are two motor neurons serving to totally different purposes. Now listen, alpha motor neuron acts locally. Alpha motor neuron acts locally, that means at the transaction of your body. That means if there is a movement here in this muscle, there will be local alpha motor neurons coming out from your spinal cord. But what are gamma motor neurons? Gamma motor neurons are influenced by upper motor neurons. Now listen with all your attention. You know, motor neurons in our body, motor neurons in our body are divisible into two categories. That is lower motor neuron and upper motor neuron. Now listen, this lower motor neuron consists of alpha motor neurons, okay, and gamma motor neurons. Upper motor neurons are coming from cerebellum and cerebrum, specifically basal ganglia. Clear? So where is gamma motor neuron, right? The first question we need to answer is, where is gamma motor neuron? Now listen, gamma motor neuron is actually coming out from here. Okay, suppose this is gamma motor neuron also innervates. Now listen, gamma motor neuron also innervates extrafusal fibers. Okay, now listen. Now problem you need to understand is from where gamma motor neuron is getting its information, that when to initiate the process or when to contract this particular extrafusal fiber. Now to understand this, you need to understand that there are upper motor neurons coming down. There are upper motor neurons which are coming down and they are entering at this level of spinal cord. Enter from here and they will activate upper motor neurons coming down from rubrospinal tract and reticulospinal tract. That means gamma motor neurons are made excited or influenced by these two tracts directly, that is rubrospinal tract and reticulospinal tract. No other tracts actually are interested in activating the gamma motor neuron. Now this is your gamma motor neuron, this is your gamma motor neuron, clear? This is your gamma motor neuron. So when upper motor neurons gets excited, okay, then these upper motor neurons fire, and upper motor neurons consist of reticulospinal tract neurons and rubrospinal tract neurons and reticulospinal tract neurons, and these neurons when coming down will activate gamma motor neurons and gamma motor neurons will directly fire. Now listen, this gamma motor neuron firing is associated with fine movements, right, skillful movements of muscles. Now problem you need to understand is this, that both alpha motor neurons and gamma motor neurons are motor neurons. Then what is their basic difference? Now listen, alpha motor neurons, I have already said, is larger in diameter. I've already discussed, right? And gamma motor neurons are, with respect to alpha motor neurons, they are smaller. When alpha motor neurons become excited, now listen, alpha motor neurons only upper motor neurons only become excited when they are getting information from cerebellum, basal ganglia and all these areas. That means cerebellum, basal ganglia, all these will activate, these pathways, and upper motor neurons will come down and hit the or activate the gamma motor neurons, and gamma motor neurons will now start firing, so that extraphysial fibers will fire, and this is actually the gamma reflex loop. Okay. Now the main important point you need to understand is this, that gamma reflex loop only is activated when there is fine movements associated with fine movements of muscles. Clear? And for crude movements you will need alpha motor neuron pathway. Okay.